Wow, good evening, greetings, wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Thank you. This is Bishop Samuel Fredericks, your host, and it's such a privilege to be alive and well and to be this side of the grave. Well, I trust that you had a blessed week so far, and can you believe it? The month of October is almost done and dusted, but we are still here through the grace of God. And thank you for being part and parcel with us. Thank you for watching us on your mobile phone, on your laptop, on your iPad, even on your telly. It's going to be real, and it's going to be real to the glory of God. So, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I know this is the month of Black history and coming out of a country that was apartheid, and God has brought us through all those years. And the turmoil that our country is still going through, beautiful South Africa, has not changed a bit because the ANC has messed it up. But we're not about to talk about them. I have a very good a young lady who's dynamic. Hold on, I'm not going to share the spill the beans yet, but I got a great woman of God who's going to sing for us. Kindred Matthew is going to sing for us. He's a blessing. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to enjoy the program because God has been good. Not only that, you have made it. Ladies and gentlemen, she's there, live and direct. Kindred, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
It is so good to see you well and blessed. And we pray for you, and look what God has done. It's good to see you. Thank you for making yourself available tonight to be part and parcel of this Let's Be Real program, which is always so full of excitement and different characteristics and people from around the world that's on this program. And that's what I like to have is real. So, my darling, it's all yours. Just bless us. Two songs will do whatever you want to sing. Come on, you can do it. All
Well,
right.
thank you very much, Bishop.
God
Um,
bless.
I'm going to sing my songs that I'm going to sing today. They're going to be sung by the way of a cappella.
Oh,
And the first
wow.
song that I'm going to sing is a very old song that I learned when I was younger and living in the island of St. Kitts, where my mom is from.
Oh, wow.
Um, it's called One Day Jesus, basically.
You go, darling. You go. Oh,
Thank you. Some days drag, some days fly. Some days I think of the day I'll die. Some days fill me and some days drain. And one day Jesus will call my name. One day Jesus will call my name. As days go by, I hope I don't stay the same. I want to get so close to him that it's no big change on that day that Jesus calls my name. Most days I pray, but some days I curse. It's that number of days I put myself first, but it's not what I do. The cross made that plain, and one day Jesus will call my name. One day Jesus will call my name. As days go by, I hope I don't stay the same. I want to get so close to him that it's no big change on that day that Jesus all my days go by. I hope I don't stay the same. I want to get so close to him that it's no big change on that day that Jesus calls my name. On that day that Jesus calls name. Thank you.
Well, I got a little problem. Just hold on there. Just hold on. Just hold on. Mute myself. Oh, sorry about that. There's something just went wrong with my laptop. But yeah, we're all good now. Thank you for your patience. That was awesome singing. We give God the glory. I don't know what happened. You know, these things happen. Technology is crazy, but listen, that was amazing. We would like her to sing one more song. How do you feel? Audience, what do you think? Was that great? Did you enjoy it? So let's crack on again. All right. I'm going to work up my sound quickly. All right. Just give me a minute.
The second song that I'll be singing, it's a song called Oh My Soul, and it's written and sung by Rebecca Dawn. Oh my soul, where is your faith? Where is your hope? Why are you troubled? Why are you worried and anxiously trying to figure out all that's to come? Oh my soul, why do you doubt? Why do you fear? Where is your song? Why aren't you singing and thankfully giving him praise for all that's to come? Has he ever failed you? Has he ever left you? Has he ever spoken a promise and not made it good? He never has, he never will, he never would. Look back and remember, all that you ever thought was your loss has only been gain. He will do it again. He can do it again. Oh, my soul, why do you fear? Why can't you surrender? Where is your trust? Why aren't you willingly choosing to follow him into all that's to come? Oh, my soul, why do you hold back? Why do you reason? Haven't you seen that in every season he's been there, and still now he's with you and all that's to come? Isn't he faithful? Can you not trust him? Isn't he kind and all that's allowed? He's always worked for good. Can't you even imagine? My soul, you can't even fathom all that he has planned and all that's in store. For his promise is true and his word is secure. So let faith rise over your fear. Remind yourself of all of the years you have seen his hand. You have brought you through. And even though this is hard, this is nothing new. He is here. He's always been. It's just your fear. Silence it, then you will see it's just shadow of death. But he's not finished yet. And come what may, his world would stay. Oh, my soul, see all he's done. Oh, my soul, remember he's won. Oh, my soul, his kindness remains. Oh, my soul, lift up your praise. The story's not over. He isn't finished. Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus, just to take him at his words, just to rest upon his promise, and to know thus said the Lord. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust him, how I've proved him more and oh, Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust him more. Thank you.
Wow, wow. You sang with passion and a heart because you have gone through so many things that we know about. And you sang that was just coming from your heart, that we have to trust God. That was amazing. And whoever has heard it can trust God in a time that we are living. You know what? Continue to sing, continue to just sing out your heart, because you know what? It's so beautiful. I'm sounding like Simon Cowell now that's doing an interview with somebody that's going to be on something like Lisbon. On Who's Got Talent. But you know what? That was amazing. And you know what? We want to thank you so much. I bless God for your life. You've been a blessing as always. And thank you for spending time with us tonight. God bless you, my darling. Enjoy the show with us. All right. Take care. Wow, wow, wow. We give God the glory. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the beauty of the show. You know what? God has put a lot of people on their journey for a reason and a purpose. And you know what? Being black is so exciting. It's so wonderful. And you know what? It's amazing that people go to a different home country to get a color. And they said, well, okay, you know, do you see I'm just like you? I said, no, mine stays there. It doesn't fade away. And that's why I'm so proud. Ladies and gentlemen, enough of me. Now, I just want to introduce to an amazing young girl, a talented young girl with great dreams and great purpose. Allow me to welcome Kirsten Beagle. How are you, beautiful?
I'm well, thanks. How are you doing?
Blessed and highly favored. You know, it's so good to have you. Thank you so much for coming and being part of Let's Be Real. As you know, we are a mixture bunch. This show is completely different to whatever you have. But listen, we just want you to enjoy yourself. Feel free and express the passion on your heart. And we are talking about Black history. I know you're young and you're growing into a society that is crazy when it comes to the color of our skin. And being older, your parents will probably tell you how difficult it was to be a Black person. And even in a generation now, it's worth. Tell us about yourself so that our audience can know who we are speaking to, because they see this beautiful picture on telly, wherever. Tell us about yourself. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Firstly, I just want to say, Kendra, that was amazing. Thank you for blessing us with your singing.
Yeah.
That was really excellent. Just to introduce myself, my name is Kristen Bingle. I'm 27 years old. I was born in Cape Town, South Africa, like you, Bishop. And and it's my favorite place in the world. But I did move to the UK when I was about 7 or 8. So I've pretty much grown up here. And I guess I would consider myself to be both British and South African. In terms of a little bit about myself, I currently work in marketing, and part of my role is to help young people get into the tech industry and create careers within tech. So that's really fun and exciting. And aside from my work, I'm also a writer. So I express myself through my writing in lots of different ways, through poetry, journalistic articles. Yeah, I absolutely love to write. So hopefully
that's amazing
from me soon.
That's amazing. Wow. You know what thrills me is that you were born in Cape Town. Which side of Cape Town?
So where was I born? Panorama Hospital. Grew up in sort of the Paro area.
All right. Yeah. Well, I know that area so well, you know. But listen, it's so great. You remind me much of my daughter. She came when she was 13 and she's doing well just as you are. But praise God, she's not a TV screen person like me and you. And but tell me, why did you go into this role, especially when it comes to this particular area topic that's very sensitive?
In terms of Black history.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess in general, history is something I've always been interested in. I always think it's important to understand our history, learn
Mhm.
about history, and it tells a really big story about how things look now. So yeah, I enjoy learning about the history of South Africa. That's something I'm really passionate about. I'm always trying to kind of
Mhm.
learn more. And then of course, growing up in the UK, the history I was taught was very focused on the Tudors, Victorian England, the Vikings, which is of course really important and it's vital that we learn about it. But what's missing from our curriculum and missing from our conversations is the is focusing on the Black contribution to British
Mhm.
history, which has been around for centuries. In fact, the Black presence has been around in the UK. I mean, I think recorded from about the 16th century, but I'm sure going back even further. I mean, I'm not a
Mhm.
historian, so that's probably not very accurate. But yeah, so I think that's something I'm really passionate about, making Black history, not just Black history, but making it part of our everyday conversations and
Mhm.
what we think about when we consider British history.
Have you even been racial abuse at your age at school or college? How did that affect you if you were?
Yeah, I would say from my personal experience, I haven't had any sort of direct racial abuse. I've
Okay.
definitely had experiences of microaggressions and people passing comments about either my hair or like my skin tone, sort of just making comments. And often it's been really uncomfortable and it's felt
Mm.
really awkward because it's like they're having a conversation about me and they're
Yeah.
passing judgment about me and they're saying things about me, but I'm not even part of the conversation and I'm sort of
Mm.
standing right there. So I've definitely had very uncomfortable and awkward experiences. And I've always felt really upset because I didn't feel like I could even say anything. And
Mm,
people
mm,
are
mm,
talking
mm.
about me in front of me. So I've definitely had really yet uncomfortable and difficult experiences. But I mean, I know lots of people who have been racially abused
Wow.
to extreme levels, like people of my age, like my friends, um, I've gone through really difficult, dangerous experiences just because, they're Black.
Mm. Wow. And that's quite sad because our
Yeah.
daughter experienced that when she came to England. And we had to go to the principal because it became so bad that she had a
Yeah.
fight at school with this one particular girl. But you know
Yeah.
what? I was just realizing that the history of Black is going way ahead. We are not so bad in England compared to America. And the young men and young women get affected because in the time here, and for a young person as you to blossom out in a time like this, it's so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And taking your stand because I don't think people understand where even one person is saying, Misha say, can relate. It's so disappointing
Yeah.
because her mother is Jamaican and her father is Scottish, so I can understand. But you know what is the important thing is that the values that you added to your life makes a difference to other people.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think there are definitely so many Black people flourishing in even in the face of adversity. People like different things. They're affected by different things. Sorry, I'm losing my words. Racism,
Right.
but systemic racism as well as the everyday experiences we have, and they're just doing amazing. And it's people in the UK as well, and yeah, it's exciting to see that people are doing amazing things.
So now what you are doing in the role that you where you are now working, you can
Yes.
actually express yourself to people of history, especially coming from the background and knowing where we come from. You have a better opportunity because your father and your mother came through that Black history.
Mhm.
Deacon Tony said we were never taught about any Black history when he was in school, and he was. It makes a difference because you
Yeah,
can see you can make a difference now because you're on the ground level because the
yeah.
generation to come. What have you put in place to change the thinking of young men and women?
So yeah, going back to the comment that you said about not being taught history in school, like I don't think it's even the case now. Like still to this day, it's not something that's being taught. I would say that for my part specifically, it's about having conversations. It's about having the everyday conversations with people around me, with my friends, with family, with colleagues at work, with people I meet, and just having those everyday conversations and making Black history a part of our normal lives and a part of our normal conversations. And I think that's the role that I'm specifically trying to play. But then also at work, in my workplace, this month has really been amazing. There's been a really great focus on Black History Month and amplifying Black experiences, Black stories, sharing different things. And so I had the opportunity to interview and create case studies for two of the apprentices that we work with at my workplace. So I was really thrilled to be able to share their stories and put it out there. There was a lot of pushback from some of my colleagues, but I'm glad that I actually managed to push these stories out and get these stories out there. But I can definitely say this month my work has been amazing at amplifying Black voices and making Black history a part of the conversation. So that's been great. It's great to be a part of that.
I salute you for taking that bold step, because you know what? They have no idea what you sometimes have to deal with.
It's
How
true.
do you deal with that when you write and you hear stories? What goes through your emotions? We have a lawyer from South Africa, they're listening to you. We have people from South Africa, Pakistan, Ukraine. We have people from Bulgaria. We got people watching you because they don't. Some people don't experience it. So tell me, when you write these stories, does that have an effect on you?
Definitely. I would say, you know, if it's a negative story or if it's something I can relate to, then it's definitely something that makes me feel disappointed, sad, upset, lots of different emotions. But I guess on the flip side of that, I also, not with my day job, but with my writing, I have the opportunity to speak to lots of different kinds of people and interview them. And when I do speak to Black people in particular, and they kind of have amazing stories to tell, or they're doing really amazing things, it makes me feel so excited. It makes me feel really happy. I feel, I guess, privileged that I get to kind of tell their stories and dig into them a little bit to kind of find different aspects of their stories. So I guess it's two sides of the coin there. When it's difficult stories, yes, it affects me heavily. It's upsetting. There's not even words sometimes to describe the feelings that you feel. But then when you see these really amazing positive stories and you see the joy, that's amazing and that's so uplifting. And I think it's important to acknowledge like both sides. You know, there's difficult experiences, but I think you said at the beginning, like, it's amazing being Black or something. And I think, yeah, that's something that we should also celebrate.
Do you think, as a Black person, as a writer, as a journalist, do you think you are more? Do they expect? Let me put the right word. Do they expect more from you, or do they want you to do better, or do the expectations bigger for you?
That's a difficult question. I'm not sure. Because I guess I don't work directly within the journalistic industry, so it's hard to kind of understand the expectations, because I only do it on a freelance part-time basis. I'm not directly involved in the industry, but I think from these stories of other journalists, I think there's definitely higher expectations, and sometimes people feel that they're pigeonholed, so they're only expected to write. They're only if it's a Black story, oh no, you should go write it, or just kind of pigeonholing people to very specific niches and stories. So I think that is definitely a problem, not allowing people to explore different things they may want to write about, because there's expectation that because they're Black, they should be writing about this and talking about this.
Yeah, I understand that. You're right. I agree with you. You should have the freedom to write about everything, not just particular things, and that gives you more freedom to enlarge your territory. But it's great because you're actually opening a lot of people's eyes. How do you fit in a crowd where when in your workplace and you're the only person walking there? Don't you let some people's eyes get turned and say, hang on, she's here, because they know you're writing some stories. Do they feel uncomfortable around you?
I don't know if they feel uncomfortable. I guess I don't know. I don't know if if people would feel uncomfortable around you. Sometimes they're very good at hiding that uncomfortability. I think that's something that people do a lot. I was just recalling a story that a colleague of mine told me. She was talking about sometimes being the only Black person in the room and how that can be intimidating. But she also mentioned that it's something that it doesn't have to matter. Like, you can just embrace that and be happy that you're in the space that you're in. Yeah, so I guess that kind of fits into the whole idea of not worrying about if you're making people uncomfortable, just embracing the space that you're in and the place where you're at, and blooming where you're planted.
As a black person where you are, is there opportunities created for you because of the status you have? Do you think that they will hold you back because of what you're writing, or are you enlarging your territory?
Yeah, I guess that's always really tricky to know if people are going to take opportunities away from you because of what you're writing about.
Mhm.
I've not personally had that experience yet, so I wouldn't really be able to fully answer that one. So last year during 2020, during the Black Lives Matter protest, that was sort of the first time I wrote quite candidly about race and
Oh,
racism.
wow.
And yeah, it was very difficult because it's not something that I'd openly discussed on in quite a public
Mm.
space. So that's something I did that I think definitely enlarged my territory, like you say, but also like reach different kinds of people who
Mhm.
perhaps read my writing because they like the interviews I do, or maybe some of my white friends would read that piece and they learned a little bit more about something.
I'm going to, after the show, I'm going to give you a call. I'm going to want you to connect to Hearts of Talent
Sure.
because they work with a knife stabbing, rape, abuse, and that will maybe help you to get closer to what we are doing in London. Because
Yeah.
this is something that we, where I work on, could help you in going to a little different things with the
Yeah.
Met Police and
Sure.
things like that, because they
Yeah.
know exactly what we do. Because what is so important, we need more people like you that can open the eyes of many other people.
Yeah.
Because at
Yes.
some places, like you said, I'm so impressed when I see on television, or when we came to England, was the presenters were just, you know what I mean? You
Yes.
can see the diversity now.
Mhm.
Doesn't that thrill you as, in brackets, a black person?
Yeah, definitely. It's really exciting to see lots more different kinds of people going into things like presenting, seeing them on TV. I think that also just shows younger Black kids and kids of color as well that there is space for them. They can work to be in these spaces, and I think it is very inspiring and very thrilling, and it's amazing. Honestly, it's
What is the biggest dream that you have?
for myself.
Yep.
I think my big sorry, I think the biggest dream I have is to write several books, but there's one book
Hmm.
in particular I want to write, which is going to kind of focus on my heritage as a South African woman. So that is the book I want to write one
Okay.
day. I think that is probably the biggest dream I have, as well as lots of other different kinds of books.
So, what's the future for you now? What did you put in place so that you will be able to launch out?
Into writing the book. So
Yep.
definitely, what I'm doing is now I'm writing as much as I can. So I'm doing journalistic writing on a freelance basis. I'm also doing things like courses. So sometimes they're free, sometimes they're paid. Just doing online writing courses. At the beginning of the year, I joined a writing group, and it was only for 3 months, but that really helped me develop my poetry and my fiction writing skills.
Wow.
So yeah, so just trying to develop that writing skill and also connecting with lots of other writers and kind of following their journeys. One thing I really like to do is when I read a book, I look at kind of the author's information and kind of see what they've done and what kind of things they
Hmm.
face, and kind of looking at how what they've done, how I can perhaps apply that to my own writing journey. Yes, that's
So,
something I really like to
so
do.
as a woman in this world where
Yeah.
journalism is concerned, it's mostly very little women that's in journalism. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, definitely. In sort of like the mainstream journalism, yes, that's definitely the case. Not as many women, but what I'm seeing a lot now is lots of smaller publications um,
Hmm.
popping up, and these publications are amplifying the voices of women, allowing women to speak, women of color as well. So yes, mainstream, it's still very much a problem, but what's amazing is that women are creating spaces for themselves to tell their
Correct.
stories
Correct.
and to speak. So I think that's also really amazing. We don't have to always write for the Independent, or I mean, it would be amazing, of course, but there's so many amazing small publications popping up, creating spaces for women, which is amazing.
That is brilliant because you're still young. You
Yeah.
can launch out and make a difference because, especially in where we all know about the police and things like that, and for women today, that is actually very important to start writing about how women should be. They must be protected. And especially in the society we are, that, men think nothing of some women, but you can write about it and show women your integrity and the character that they have.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I think it's definitely very difficult and scary being a woman sometimes when you hear these sort of different stories. Yeah, sometimes it does personally like really affect me and I feel quite scared. But yeah, I think writing is really a great tool to share our stories, to educate people, to educate both men and women about the experiences that women have.
What would you say to women out there that has their desire, that has a plan to do what you are doing? What advice would you give to other young men and women that want to go into the same field that you
Yeah.
are doing? What would
Um,
advice?
yeah, so I can give you very practical advice. What I would definitely say is, if you're trying to get into writing, is to write. So even if you're not writing for a magazine or a publication, start your own blog. You can get free WordPress blogs, Squarespace blogs. Just start writing your thoughts. Think about the kind of writer you want to be. Do you want to develop into a poet? Do you want to develop into a short story writer? And start developing that skill. You can do free courses, like I mentioned. There's so many online free courses you can do. You can pay for things. You can at your local library, there may be writing groups you can join. So those are very simple, practical steps you can take if you're trying to kind of get into the industry. And just practice your writing as much as you can, even if you're not sharing it with the world. Write for yourself and continue to do that. Yeah, I would say that's the best advice I would give.
Now, Kirsten, what made you go involved with Black history? What was the reason? I want to come. Not everybody writes about Black history. You know what I mean? Because that's like a danger zone to go in, a scary zone, because a lot of things will come out of. What made you interest in that particular area?
Yeah, I find history very fascinating. It's very interesting. And because Black history isn't part of our conversations and part of our curriculum and part of our daily lives, I feel like it's important to write about it and talk about it when we can and where we can. So that's why I feel like it's important for me to write about it and to talk about it, to share with different people the importance of Black history, to educate them on different aspects of Black history, and to just make it part of our daily conversation. But yeah, I just think it's important to know our history to understand the present world we're living in. That's why I'm so passionate about history.
So this thing is, how did your parents feel about it when you said, listen, mom and dad, I'm going to be a journalist and I'm going to talk about Black life history? What did they think? What are you trying to do here?
I think my parents have definitely been really supportive.
Wow.
Yeah, so they always support my writing, and I think they've always known that I've had an interest in writing and an interest in history. So when that kind of came together, I guess it maybe clicked for them and it made sense. But that, I must say, they have definitely been very supportive. They're always reading my work, they're always sharing my work. So it's good to have them on board.
Yeah, when we were growing up, your parents probably told you about the buses, the shops. We couldn't shop at the same place, and all those stuff, that history. And to know you come to England and you still have the same problem, but in a different format. And still there's disadvantages because of the color of our skin. You as a woman, and you have the monopoly. No, let me say, you have the right platform to spread it out. It's going to be a journey for you to write it, because not everybody is going to be happy when it comes to the truth. How did you feel about that already?
Yeah, I guess that's not something I really considered, but you're right. Not everybody's going to be happy with what you're writing about and what you're talking about and what you're highlighting. And I guess that's part of the journey and learning to deal with it. It was scary. Of course, it's wanting to know that people disagree with you or people wish ill on you, which is definitely something that happens when people disagree with you. But I think it's part of the journey and part of the process. But I haven't yet experienced that, so I definitely need to look out.
You know, there's nothing that can stop you.
Yeah.
You just got to put your head on and run with it, you know, because this Black history story will never end till Jesus Christ shall come. Because I tell you, the color of somebody's skin will always be a problem.
Yeah.
No matter how many times we will try to stop it, it is impossible, because that is the problem. But for you to write it, there are some things you're going to write you don't like yourself, but because of the truth.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Some of the things you write about. Yeah, it's difficult.
As a writer, you got to write because how you feel and what you see. You might even lose some friends.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's definitely part of it.
So how do you still have to go to university to do this, or have you done that already?
So I've graduated already. I studied English literature at university.
Okay, well done.
Thank you. I am looking to do my master's in creative writing to further my writing ability. But I think having the basis of English literature has definitely helped me with my writing skills, with also opening my mind to different kinds of writing, different kinds of writers, different kinds of literature from all around the world. So that's definitely been really helpful.
Would you ever be deployed to another country if you get opportunity to go to be a journalist?
Yeah, that would be really amazing. I would.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'd love to do that. I've not had the opportunity yet. If it arises, yeah, I think that would be absolutely amazing.
That's amazing. That's awesome, man. Wow, I'm blown away now. Blown away. Because the history of England is quite interesting. If you look at the 4 nations that we have, and you look at the years ago, before where we are now, when the law came in, that is quite interesting compared how white on white was. And now it's black on black. How do you feel about that?
Specifically about
like black on black.
Crime or
crime and knife stabbing and murders. Most of the things is coming on black, because that's what I see in what I'm busy with. What is your perspective of that?
Oh, that's a very tricky one to answer. I feel I'd want to know to have a bit more information to kind of answer that, because I know it's a very difficult topic. There's a lot of things at play there in terms of poverty. There's lots of different things at play. So I wouldn't feel right answering that, because I don't want to answer incorrectly, because it's a very, very sensitive issue.
Yes.
But I will recommend someone called Akala, who speaks quite well, and he's very well versed in life, in sort of the crime situation. So if people want to know more, I would definitely suggest listening to some of his talks and books. I feel like it's such a loaded topic. I definitely want to have more information myself before kind of commenting on it, I would say.
I understand that, because with the project we are doing in London, it's quite sad that it's mostly that, how our own people are killing our own. And the one thing that we always say, why do Black Lives Matter if we're killing our own? And that is the sad part. And even, the young lady that was shot, that was like the #1 lady in England, got shot by a black person. And that is what the people are saying now in London. How can we protect our own if we're killing our own?
Yeah.
And then the journalists have to write the truth about it, and that hurts, and that has effect. And especially if you go into that field. But you're doing good, you're doing well, and I'm very proud of what you have achieved so far. And for greater things is yet to come for you. So as a young person, you have to just go out there and make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. I would say to anybody of any age, really, who wants to make it happen, just find the tools, find out what you need to do to make it happen, and 100% make it happen.
You sound so easy. It's easy just to write a book.
Yeah,
you make it so easy. Say, all you do, pick up the pen and write a book. You know how hard that is for me.
Oh my gosh, I wish it was easy. It's wow. The more I learn about writing, the more I learn how difficult it actually is. Yeah, it's so complicated, but I do love it. So
especially this topic, Black history has effect on billions of people.
Yeah.
And we are only one of them so far, and many others. many people lost their lives because of what they believe and what they stood for. And as a journalist, you see these things as you go out and you enlarge your territories. You will find yourself sometimes, do I write this or don't? What is your perspective on that?
Yeah, I think in that situation, it's difficult whether to think about whether to write this or to not write it. But I think it's important to always tell the truth as much as you can. I think that's important. It's important for people to know the whole story. It's important for people to know the truth. So when you can and where you can, tell the truth as accurately as you can. And that is a difficult choice. It's not always an easy choice to make. I think it's the right choice, but it's not always easy to make it.
Because especially if you're a writer and people will respect you for that, because number one, your character, your integrity goes down if you don't tell the truth, and people won't trust what you're writing in the future. But so far, what you're telling me, I can hear your heartbeat, that you have this passion and this cry of what you're saying, because as a young lady, a Black lady, who can be successful, just meeting the right people that can open one door, the rest is history. And you have a family that is supporting you, makes it even easier.
Definitely, it's definitely helpful. And what you're saying about meeting the right people, I think that is really important. Networking, finding other people in the field that are doing the same thing as you, I think that's really important, and that helps your journey as well. It also does help your journey.
One question: when you wake up in the morning, do you say, "What do I write"?
So sometimes I do that, but I also have like a notepad sometimes my phone as well. I just write down all the ideas I have.
Really?
And then if I'm stuck, I'll kind of go to the idea book.
Wow.
But yeah,
this is amazing.
I do wake up thinking that. Yeah.
That is amazing, because sometimes, God woke me up and said, "Sam, you need to write down that before one forget about it," and I have to write it down. Is that what you also do?
Yes, definitely. I have to. If I don't write it down, I'm going to forget it. So I have to do that. Yeah.
So, Kirsten, what is the future for you before we close?
The future for me, I hope it is one where I can face challenges with integrity. I hope it is one where I make choices that are good for me. I hope it is one where I will be creating, whether that's writing or something different, and just sharing my story and also the stories of other people with the world. I think that is amazing. That's how it will look. Yeah.
So when other people see you and you hear their stories, sometimes you have that passion because of what they go through.
Definitely. Like sometimes it's so inspiring to see people's stories. Sometimes it's heartbreaking. But I think people's stories are absolutely amazing. I love telling them or being a vessel to tell them.
Wow. Let's be real. This is truly amazing what you're telling us. And the audience are just putting nice comments about it, how amazing you are. And you're doing an amazing job. And people are saying you're amazing. We trust that God will make you a big journalist and will enlarge your territory. Trevor say also, you're amazing. My wife and many other people are saying,
Thank you.
You're doing well. And you're just going to be persistent and have the belief and the desire. Even when disappointments come, you got to keep on pushing, go, because we're going to continue to pray for you and to see you successful. And after the show, I will give you a call, and I want this person, I'm going to speak to this person tomorrow, and maybe you can connect with them, because they got a lot of doors that can open for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being on the show, and let's be real and sharing your life as a Black woman in a country such as this, and the challenges that you face and how you've dealt with it.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me on. It's been great.
Thank you. I want to also thank your mother for even coming back to me and said, "Tell Beatrice, I thank you so much. God bless you, my darling. Have a good evening."
You too, Bishop.
We'll chat soon. Take care. Bless you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Wow. It's amazing. I am proud to be Black. I'm proud of who I am. I am proud the way God made me. I hope you are proud. Not because of the color of your skin, but the identity of who you represent. And tonight I want to say to someone, no matter what you've gone through your life, where you were racist abuse or whatever, keep on believing who you are. Don't change your identity. Be proud of what you will become. And life may have a lot of challenges, which it has, but that must not change the person inside of you, because greater is he that's in you than is in the world. And maybe you could be that person that make a difference just because of the color of your skin. And I want to encourage you also, before I close, the best is yet to come. This is Bishop Samuel Fredericks signing off on Let's Be Real. Till next week, Thursday, we're going to talk about politics. Politics. Next week, Thursday. God bless you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, subscribe and share it. Till next time. Thank you once again. Good night.